All right, let's review Tuesday, April 15th's price action. So we had a trading range day. It was still a large range. Right, we still had a 65-point range in that day, but it was a trading range. It was mostly sideways. So what were the signs that you could have had a trading range? Well, look at this open. We had 5 bars up, then sideways, and then a big bar down, and then sideways. So this is one of the early signs that you're in a trading range, is when you're getting either overlap like this, or these large moves that are reversing quickly. So bulls are buying. It looks like it's going to go higher, and then it reverses. Big bear bar. Looks like it's breaking out below this, but then bad fall through, and it just goes sideways. So this is an early sign of a trading range. Now, that being said, when you get a fairly large range on the open, something like this, that range will often double. So yes, we're thinking there might be a trading range today, but I would also expect this range to double. And if we're going to have a range day, then I'll expect the range to either be up here or down here once it breaks out of this area. So with that in mind, I was trying to look for a breakout of this opening range, and I thought here was a reasonable buy. So what you have is a first entry, second entry short that's failing, and the bulls are getting a second entry long. So first entry and a second entry. You've also had multiple tests of the moving average here with a good looking bull bar. So reasonable to try to go for a swing buy there. But that fails, and we end up just getting stuck in this even tighter range here in the middle. And what does this look like? Well, to me, it looks like a triangle. So, I mean, another kind of trading range. So triangle. So arguably there could be some trades in here, but we're in the middle of this triangle. The range is getting smaller. So I'd rather not try to take a trade in this. I would rather first wait for the breakout and then see a retest of this apex of the triangle and then look for a trade. The thing is, we never got the apex, but the breakout wasn't all that strong. I mean, we broke out to the downside, and I'm kind of trapped out of shorts because I don't want to be selling low in the range. And I also don't want to be selling until we test this apex first. So, kind of trapped out of any trade opportunities through here. We break out. We weekly break out below the low of the day. Try to go lower here, try to go lower here, and here again. But look at each time the market does go below a low here, it gets bad follow through. So we went down here, but then 4 bull bars. Big bear bar, but then a bull bar. 4 bear bars, but then a bull bar. So we are going down, but we're getting bad follow through. And we're also we haven't broken out of this low yet. So we're actually still in this upper trading range. So because of that, I have this as a buy. Possible wedge bottom. When we have multiple things we would like to test above. The first is the open of the day, and the second is the apex of that triangle. And at this time it was 2:30, so there was still enough time for the market to have bars that would pull up to the open or maybe even to the apex. So I thought this was a reasonable buy there. Traders might also be able to scale in above this bar. So if they buy and the market goes lower, then they could buy more lower and scale in. And the odds of you being able to do that increase when you're in a trading range like this. So you're buying low in the range. And if it goes a little bit lower, that's okay. You can buy more and try to exit at your midpoint. So you could at least avoid a loss. And so that's also something you could plan on doing with this trade. Other than that, I didn't like too many today. A type of day that you can really get in trouble is a large bar trading range. And that's what this is. It's a trading range where the bars inside of it are large. And well, what do we have? We have bars here that are 35 points tall. So especially on the open, large bars like this, you can really get mixed up during this because your risk is large. But it's also a trading range, which means that your moves are unlikely to have good follow through, and your swing trades have less probability. So you have less probability, but you also have greater risk. So you see that's just bad math. So these kind of days are really tough to trade. If you were able to bet that it was a trading range early and trade it like a trading range the whole day, buying low and selling high, you could have made it a good amount of scalps. I think it's just kind of difficult or risky right now with the ranges being so large. So here is the daily chart, and you can see we're still below the moving average, possibly getting some kind of wedge pattern here. First push, pullback, second push, third push, and we're getting this at the moving average. Now, I'm pretty neutral on where we're going next. We're right at the moving average. We're following this big down move, this big up move. I'm thinking trading range over the next few weeks through here. Maybe we come up here, and test the highs, but then we're probably going to come back down. Or maybe we go lower, but then we're probably not going to go too low, so we'd probably come back up and test the middle of this range. So I'm neutral. If I had to choose a direction, I would probably be a little bit more bullish. But overall, I'm not going to try to say like what tomorrow will be or even the next week. I think I would say like over next few weeks, just sideways. Probably breakouts will fail or not have very good follow through on either direction. This here is the Bitcoin daily chart. We're coming right up to the top of this trend line, and it'll be interesting. Are the Bitcoin bulls able to get above this and stay above this and break out higher, or do they continue in this trend down? It looks like we might have already had a breakout of the top of this trend line. So if you draw it like that, then we've broken out above. And when you break out above like this, normally you have to retest the lows. So that's what I would bet on. And so we're probably not off to the races yet in Bitcoin. We probably need to come back down and test these lows, maybe around 78,000 or even lower. So probably more sideways in Bitcoin as well, but it might be forming a pattern that is bullish. So that's all I have today, guys. 3 more days to the week. And like I said, I'm expecting more sideways price action. So try not to buy too high in a range and sell too high in a range. And those are my thoughts. All right. See you guys.